This video is about how to lose fat, how to get in shape, how to get in the best shape of your life. And the thing is, guys, I like talking about mindset and stuff. You know, that's why I don't really like to tell people what to do because I was under the impression that people know what to do. I always say this like, if I were to give you $1,000,000 to get in the best shape of your life in 6 months, you would figure it out. Like, you know what to do. But then the other day, I was at the gym talking to some people and I realized most people actually don't know what to do. You guys don't realize it's so fucking easy. It's so simple and it's eluding you. All you guys need to focus on is calories and protein to lose fat. That's literally it. That's it. Like, the thing with getting in fit with ADHD is like the less rules we have, the easier it is to follow. A lot of you guys do things like we're restricting food groups, we're fasting, we're only able to eat through this time window, or we're doing keto and we're like, it's just like, guys, you don't need to do any of that shit. All you need to do is know how many calories you need to be eating to either lower your weight and how much protein you need to be eating to maintain your muscle. See, weight loss and fat loss is different. It's very easy to lose weight, but guys, trust me, you don't want to lose weight. You want the end result to look good. You want to lose body fat. We want to maintain as much muscle, connective tissue, cartilage, and we just want to lose body fat. We don't want to lose anything else. We don't want to lose bone density, cartilage, and collagen. That's what happens when you lose weight. You don't just lose fat. You lose muscle and all of these other things that are valuable too. So to lose fat alone, we have to make sure we are hitting our daily protein requirement, and we also have to make sure that we're working out. We have to give our muscles a reason to stay around. Eating protein will maintain the muscle you have, but even if you eat enough protein, if you're in a calorie deficit, you will still lose a little bit of muscle if you're not doing resistance training. So I'm going to break it down real quick for you guys. I'm going to talk you guys through simplified how fat loss is going to work. Because we don't need to overcomplicate this, guys. This is extremely simple. Extremely simple. It's so simple that that's the reason why people are overcomplicating it. Because they're like, there's no way it could be that simple. All you got to focus on is calorie. I know you guys hear the word calorie deficit. Whatever way that you guys can comfortably get into a calorie deficit, that's what you need to do. The foundation of fat loss is taking in fewer calories than what your body needs to maintain its current weight. Okay, so there's an energy balance, guys. You have to be burning more energy than you are consuming. Guys, calories is just a measurement of energy. I want you to think of calories like miles per hour, inches, yards. A calories is just a way to measure the amount of energy that's in a given piece of food. All right, all calories are created equal. When people are saying that all calories are not created equal, that's like saying all miles per hour aren't created equal. A mile of grassy road versus a mile of gravel road, it's the same difference, okay? But the way that your car travels through it may be a little bit, that's what we talk about. The calorie intake is the same, but when you burn off those calories, it can be different. Guys, if you're eating more whole foods, if you're eating more foods that have protein, more fiber, you're going to be able to burn more calories eating more whole foods. But when you I'm not going to I'm going to just keep it very simple, guys. Calories are a unit of measurement, okay? Unit of measurement. And that's why we track them. And I'm saying, guys, you do not have to track your calories for your whole entire life. Okay, when a client works with me for like 6 months to the year, 6 months or to a year is like my transformation program. I have them track their calories and their protein, and I let them know, like, we don't have to do this for our whole lives. But there's a grind season we go through a transformation. And as you go through this transformation and as you're tracking your calories and your protein, you're building the tools, you're getting the mental awareness and understanding food on a deeper level. So as you track your calories and protein for 6 months to a year and go through a transformation, you never have to do it again because you have the tools. You'll be able to look at a piece of food and be like, okay, that's around this many calories, that many protein, that fits my goals. And that's how you can create this lifestyle. Eat any food group, eat the foods that you love, and still stay lean and build muscle. Okay, by just understanding calories and protein and being able to look at a given food and be like, okay, this is going to work for me. Okay, tracking your progress, guys. Tracking your progress. I like my clients to weigh in multiple times a week. It's important to track both food and your weight. Okay, so when you're tracking your calories and protein, you also should be tracking your weight. I tell my clients, weigh in the morning after you go to the bathroom before you eat breakfast to get the driest, cleanest weight. Okay, and I may be like, the way I'm explaining it, I feel like this is kind of complicated, but it really isn't, guys. What's more complicated is fasting, is restricting yourself from your favorite foods, is doing endless cardio, fad diets, paying for meal plan services. Keto is the dumbest thing you can do. For a second, I'm going to go on a tangent and talk about keto. Keto is the dumbest thing you can do because with keto, guys, you are eating the most taxing taxing food on our body. Protein and fats, the most taxing macronutrients. I'm not saying protein and fat is bad for you, but it's the most taxing on our body, okay? It gives us the most amount of wear and tear compared to whole carbohydrates. See, proteins and fats are the hardest on our body to digest, and they're the most taxing on our body when it comes to longevity. Carbohydrates are the healthiest foods on the planet. They have the most minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants per calorie and volume compared to protein and fats. Okay, carbohydrates, you could eat a bunch of carbohydrates for a lot of volume, very little calories, and still get a ton of nutrition. Protein and fats, you would have to take in a bunch of calories to get that nutrition. Okay, so this is why it's like when you do keto, this is a good analogy with keto. When you do keto, it's like eating candy without brushing your teeth. Okay? Because when you eat protein and fats all the time, you are creating plaque from the fat and the cholesterol and the protein in your arteries. The carbohydrates, when you eat fruits and vegetables, it helps wipe away that plaque in our blood. But if you're not eating any carbohydrates and you're just eating protein and fats, you're going to be creating this plaque in your arteries and you're going to be more at risk for heart disease. There was a study I could bring up, but I'm still learning this whole system, so I mean next time. But there's a study they did where like every year of keto takes a year off your life because it's so taxing on our heart and our organs and our blood. Okay, so don't do cardio. Eat the healthiest foods on the planet are carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, okay? And that's not my opinion, okay? All right, so we track our calories and protein and we track our weight in the morning, okay? Because if you're tracking your calories and protein, like I tell my clients 3 weeks, okay? If we're plateaued for 3 weeks, then that means we need to do something different. Something is not working. Either you're not tracking accurately or there's a bottleneck somewhere that we need to discuss. Maybe we need to increase our step count. Maybe we need to drop our calories just by a teeny bit. Maybe we need to increase our protein just by a teeny bit. These small little changes, but 9 times out of 10, you guys aren't tracking your snacks. You guys aren't tracking accurately. And that's what it is. That's why I try to get my clients to prep our meals, prep our snacks, because when you prep your meals and prep your snacks and track your calories and protein, you're like making it impossible for you to fail. All right, I'm going to be going off on a tangent, but that's it. You guys need to get an app like MyFitnessPal. It's free. Or you can work with me and I'll show you how to easily track your calories and protein. A lot of you guys get overwhelmed like, I don't want to track my food. I don't want to track my calories and protein. It's easy, guys, and it guarantees you if you do that, it guarantees that you be the person that you want to be. It guarantees you. Like when you guys do fasting and keto, it's like you're still winging it. The only way people lost fat doing fasting, keto, or any fat diet was because they got into a calorie deficit. You can't lose fat any other way. People are like, it's fat adapted. When you're keto, you're fat adapted. That doesn't mean shit. Okay, so this is the calorie density chart that I wanted to show you guys that I wanted to bring up. So as you can see, on the bottom is all the food, and then on the left is the amount of calories as it goes up. This is for a pound of food. So for a pound of vegetables, 100 calories. Pound of fruit, 300 calories. A pound, what is that? Pound of some other shit, 500 calories. A pound of beans, 600 calories. A pound of animal products, 1,000 calories. It keeps going up. A pound of oil, 4,000 calories. So you can see how calorie density, like if you just start, because this is a compounding thing. Just like if you guys try to just get more steps throughout the day, you're going to burn more calories. If you guys are just mindful of eating more low calorie dense foods and eating less high calorie dense foods, it's going to be so much easier to get into that calorie deficit. So This when I first discovered this chart, it was pretty mind-boggling to me because like think about it, guys. A pound of vegetables is 100 calories, and a pound of oil is 4,000 calories. Nope, but the thing is, nobody's eating a pound of oil at once, and nobody's eating a pound of vegetables at once. But as I said about the steps, it's a compounding. So if you have a little bit of oil here, if you have a little bit here, it's gonna add up, it's gonna compound, it's gonna be hard to stay into a consistent calorie deficit. If you have more vegetables here, more fruit here, it's gonna compound, it's gonna be easier to get into a calorie deficit. Go. So the first thing that you guys should really start with is eating more low calorie dense foods and just being mindful of eating less higher calorie dense foods. Okay, back to the whole fat loss thing I was going on. I wanted to just quickly go over calorie density with you guys. But protein and fiber are going to be your best friend on a calorie deficit because protein has a thermic effect of food, meaning you're going to be burning more calories eating more protein. So there's so many reasons to eat more protein, especially if you have ADHD. The amino acids in protein, there's L-tyrosine and tryptophan that are directly connected to dopamine and serotonin. So if you consistently eat enough protein, you're going to help regulate that chemical imbalance that a lot of people with ADHD like me, like you, might struggle with. So also fiber, okay? Fiber helps with digestion and satiety. Guys, if you eat more protein and fiber throughout the day, you're going to notice that your hunger hormone's more regulated. You might not have as many cravings at night, okay? So every time you have protein, you should also have fiber. What is fiber? Fruits and vegetables. But there's also a lot of products that contain fiber as well that are great, okay? Sustainability. You can technically be in a calorie deficit, but it won't give you the nutrition you need. As I was saying, we need the two things. You need micronutrients and macronutrients. Macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fat. You don't need to track your carbs and fat, but you do need to track your protein. But you don't want to restrict yourself from fat and carbs because there's a reason for it. We need fat to regulate our hormones, and fat tastes good. We need carbohydrates for our energy unless I'm fat adapted. Oh, unless you're fat adapted, then you don't even need to watch this because you're too far gone. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I've gotten under 10% body fat. I have a six pack, and I've helped over 100 people get in the best shape of your life. I've had people lose over 150 pounds with me. So this works. Keeping it simple works. Focusing on calories, protein, moving your body more, eating enough fiber, it works. Okay. Now, I wanted to quickly talk about the mental battle with fat loss. The mental battle with fat loss. So we're going to get into that mental battle with fat loss. So losing fat is simple, but it's not easy. I say this, guys, because I personally went from like frail, skinny to more jacked. I started at like 128 pounds and I went to 185 pounds. That was a mental struggle, but it was more of a physical struggle. Me, having worked with a lot of people who are overweight, this is a mental battle because it's like food is our comfort. We go to food in times of stress. We use food as a coping mechanism. The relationship a lot of people have with food is not great. So a lot of the people, if you're someone who is overweight trying to get to a healthier weight, this is going to be much more mental than physical. Trust me, guys, this is going to be much more mental than physical. Losing fat is simple, but it's not easy. It is definitely a mental battle. You need to be mentally ready and strong enough to stay consistent over time. That's why I'm all about building habits and changing the way you talk to yourself. Habits, self-talk, okay? Those are key. If you're mentally tough, you can stick to the plan when it's hard. That's why I always tell people I like to talk about mindset because it's not how you're going to do something, it's who can do it. Okay? How am I going to lose fat? I got to track my calories and protein. I got to move. I got to hit 10,000 steps. I got to drink more water. I got to eat more fiber and protein. Yeah, that's what you got to do, but you know how to do it, but most people aren't who can do it. People know it the right way. You need to focus on who. You need to focus on your follow through and your self-talk so you can actually be consistent. Is this making sense? Okay, is this making sense? That's why I always say this, guys, it's not how, it's who. Okay? The nutrition plan, and I want to go back to that for a second. It's not how, it's who. Think about this, guys. Think about this for 1 second. You guys know how to do shit, but you're not who can do it consistently because you negotiate with yourself. You stay in bed and you hit the snooze button. You miss the gym. You missed your meal plan. You don't track your calories and protein. You negotiate with yourself with the work that needs to be done. So you constantly trying to look for shortcuts and other ways on how to do it. But the thing is, like, You need to figure out how to create the person who can do it, because that's what's going to be the most rewarding. Because once you guys get the results, once you lose the fat, that's not what changes you. I promise. What changes you is going through the difficult journey of getting that result. Okay, I'm done off the tangent. Guys, in a deficit burns the fat covering the muscles. No matter how much you train, if you aren't in a calorie deficit, you'll have a layer of fat. A lot of people have a lot of muscle, but they have a layer of fat so you can't see it. That's why tracking your calories is crucial. Protein 5 times per day max. There's 5 opportunities for protein synthesis throughout the day, okay? Muscle growth happens when you give your body consistent doses of protein throughout the day and you're training hard with good form. Aim to eat protein 5 times per day, okay? But not me. Sometimes it's only 3. I mean, that's just a goal, okay? The bare minimum is 3 and the most is 4. Okay? Fiber and water. Fiber and water are crucial for staying full and maintaining hydration. When you're not full and you're hungry, guys, it's going to be hard to lose fat. Fiber adds bulk to your meals, keeping you full, and water ensures that your body stays hydrated. Because when you're dehydrated, guys, your body's not optimal. We are more optimal when we are overly hydrated, not like overly hydrated, but you guys should be pushing for a gallon of water a day. Okay, why high volume eating and high protein and high fiber? Why? Volume fills you up without adding a lot of calories, making it easier to stay in a deficit. Protein helps retain and maintain the muscle and keeps you feeling full. Fiber slows digestion so you can stay full for longer, which makes the calorie deficit more sustainable. But guys, I'm going to go over this again. I love mindset. You remember when we were kids, they're like mind over matter, and then we get older and we kind of forget it's still mind over matter. Trust me, trust me. Mindset is key, guys. This is the shift. This is the shift that you need to go through. Fat loss requires a mental shift. If you want it badly enough, stick through the discomfort. Guys, it's okay to be uncomfortable. That's when you grow, is when you are uncomfortable. You only grow outside your comfort zone. This is why investing in yourself is one of the clearest signs of self-love. As soon as my client, pays their hard-earned money to work with me, it's like their subconscious is like, whoa, your subconscious is like paying attention to that action. So they're like, damn, you're actually taking this serious this time. Okay, let's actually go all in and do this shit. So when you change your actions, you slowly change how you see yourself. See, when you invest your hard-earned money, your subconscious is like, okay, I didn't think you would do that. Damn, you are taking this here. When you start tracking your calories and protein, everything you're doing, your subconscious is paying attention and taking mental note, like, damn, this dude is freaking serious. I don't want to be on a diet for the rest of my life. A diet is like a temporary thing. Guys, this is a lifestyle. I'm not saying you have to track your calories and protein for the rest of your life, but you should be eating protein. You should be maintaining in a not in a calorie deficit your whole life, but you shouldn't be in a calorie surplus your whole life. So the thing is, like, this is a way for you to make this a lifestyle. We should be eating protein. We should be eating fruits and vegetables. We should be drinking water. We don't have to track, but there is a grind season that we go through prepping. I recommend meal prepping just because it makes everything so much easier. It makes everything cheaper. I love meal prepping. I'm a huge fan of it. Prepping meals ahead of time makes it easier to stay on track. Know what you're going to eat. You're less likely to make impulsive decisions, and it removes the decision fatigue. Having ADHD, like, I want to make less fucking choices. I just wanted to, like, okay, this is what I do. I like eating this, and I'm gonna just do that. Okay, honestly, I don't need variety. I can eat the same thing every single day because I like what I eat, and I like staying on track. It makes me feel good to stay on track. Consistency, guys. The key to long-term fat loss is consistent effort. Over time, stick to the plan even when progress seems slow. A lot of people might get discouraged because I'm tracking my calories and protein, I'm getting my steps in, but I haven't seen results. Yeah, the universe is testing you. Did you forget the mindset part? And a lot of people, there might be a bottleneck. That's why you need a coach's perspective to get a bird's eye view on what you're doing and be like, this is wrong, we need to do this, we need to do that. Guys, we need to focus on sustainability. Make sure your diet is something you can stick to for the long run. This is why high volume, high protein, high fiber nutrition works best. They keep you full and help you avoid feeling deprived. Reach your goals. You need to really want this, because then that affects your input. A lot of people are so focused on the output that they're not focused on the input. When you have a lot of desire to reach your goals, you're focused on the input. Okay, so make your fire big, so it can be a burning desire that I need to fucking reach this goals. I gotta do this. I gotta prove to myself, and I gotta prove everybody wrong. I have a strong desire to reach my goals, and you gotta keep that in the forefront of your brain. Okay? Focus on the big three, guys. Calorie deficit is the only way. No, in the history of mankind, nobody ever has lost fat without being in a calorie deficit. It's not possible. I'm trying to give it an out. It's not possible. Okay. Protein, 5 times per day max, 3 times per day minimum. Essential for muscle growth. You want to maintain as much muscle as possible while you're losing fat. Fiber and water keeps you full, keeps you hydrated, keeps you feeling good. All right, guys. I hope you got value from this video. If you did get value from this video, what I'd like you to do, what I need you to do is like, comment, subscribe. Comment below what other type of videos you want to see more from me of. And if you guys are thinking about working with me one-on-one, hit the link in my YouTube bio. There's a link to schedule a consultation with me. We will get on a Zoom call. We will talk more about your goals, and we'll get you started, get you in the best shape of your life. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys. I love all of my YouTube subscribers. We're almost at 8,000, which is fucking crazy. So hope you guys got value, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.